All right, guys, today we're going to do a lesson. It's about character and about respect. And what does respect mean? What does it mean to be respectful?
To care for others and, have emotions when something sad happens to them.
Good, to care for others. That's excellent. What else? What does respect mean? Think about when you've been respectful towards someone or someone else has been respectful to you. Simple things, big things. What about opening the door for somebody? Is that respectful?
Yes.
What else? You were going to say something, Miracle.
To be caring and not say rude things to people.
Okay. Well, respect is what we're going to talk about in here today. And one of the things that we're supposed to teach you during the 8th grade year in our curriculum is we're supposed to really talk to you about research and about technology and how that ties to language arts and writing and reading. And we're going to be doing some writing activities about respect. And I find that it's very important to talk to 8th graders about respect as it applies to cyberspace. And what do I mean by cyberspace? What are some things when I'm saying cyberspace? Yes?
The internet.
The internet. What about chat rooms? How many of you have been in a chat room before? Oh yeah. How many people text message? Okay, on my bill last month, 1,600 text messages. I have issues, so I'm a text messenger too. What about MySpace? How many of you have a MySpace? See? So this is going to be really valuable because today we're going to talk about respect as it applies to cyberspace and technology. Before we begin, I thought it would be really cool to invite Miss Johnson. She has a story, a very sincere story about her son that had an issue with cyberspace. And I thought this would set the ground to tell you what we're talking about and how important it is to be respectful when it comes to cyberspace. So let's welcome Miss Johnson. She's going to talk to you for a few minutes.
So I want to tell you about my 6th child. His name was Jeffrey. Jeff was popular. He always had been. He was a straight A kid. He could do anything academically. Couldn't dribble a basketball, but you put a virtual basketball in his hand online and he was an athlete. This boy would come in and put things in Jeff's notebooks when he wasn't looking. Things like he ran off some pictures from uglypeople.com. Jeff wrote his own video game like Final Fantasy. He put hundreds of hours of work in it. His friend Joe came over and helped, and a lot of his friends did the artwork and everything. And he was so proud of it. He sent it to everyone he knew so that they could play the game and tell him what the bugs were so he could work them out. He was going to sell it and make $1 million. And he was the game master, and he had the most fun with that. But then one of the girls shared the password, and the bully, Robert, got on it. And he just changed the code so Jeff couldn't get back in. And then he just erased it. And he wrote all kinds of things on there. Things about Jeff being fat, and ugly. A couple of nights later, I went into the living room to tell Jeff to head on to bed. It was 11:30. We had plans to go with his friends to see War of the Worlds the next day. He'd been talking about the 4th of July. He did a big virtual fireworks display to show to all his friends on Final Fantasy. He was going to go clothes shopping with his friend Kristen. He said, "Mom, I just have to finish one more email." I said, "Okay," and kissed him goodnight. The next morning, we found him. He'd committed suicide in his closet. He hung himself. I thank you so much for listening to me. And this is a book. They told us we didn't need a law because Jeff was an isolated case. It didn't really happen that often. This is every child on the cover of this committed suicide because of bullying. The youngest child in the state of Florida to take their life because of bullying was just 4 years old.
See about respect in cyberspace? That's a really good example, isn't it, of what can happen and how important it is that we talk to each other and we have that kind of respect. Text messaging, chat rooms, MySpace, whatever you're doing. So what I want to do now, because we've listened for quite a bit, I want us to talk about it and talk about some situations that apply to these different cyberspace experiences. Since we've got a small class, we're going to do 2 situations. So here's what I need. I need one person in your group to decide to be the reader. That's the person that's going to read the situation. Okay, so Miracle's going to be the reader. Who's going to be the reader here? Okay, and then I need one person to be the recorder. This is the person that's going to record the answers that you discuss. And remember, this is a respect lesson. So let's really give everybody a chance to express how they feel, what they think about this as it applies to cyberspace, like the situation you just heard. Now really think about respect as it applies to message boards and text messaging, whichever topic you got. I want you to come up with your answers, and then we're going to share with each group and talk to each other about it.
Group presentation addressed the following questions about this situation and participating in chat rooms in general.
Okay, how many people in here have been in a chat room before?
Me.
Excellent. And there are all kinds of chat rooms, aren't there?
Yes.
So think about that as you start to answer these questions and what happened in the situation. Was this person in the right chat room?
No.
Okay, get your paper out, record your answers to the next few questions. Mark was the one that didn't get the response, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, do you think it's polite and respectful to respond at least to somebody in some way?
Yeah, she should like said, sorry, I gotta go, or something to tell him like goodbye.
It makes you think, because in your situations that you guys have, how you feel when somebody doesn't respond, right? So you always want to be mindful of
It
that.
seems like weird because it said that he kept us sending the message, where are you, where are you? And she could have thought, oh, he's like kind of stalking me because he's
Well,
asking me.
that's another way to look at it. Maybe you think Mark was just overbearing and kept on and wouldn't stop. All right, come back to me for a second. You guys are doing fabulous. Everybody was dialoguing, and ultimately that was respect, what I saw happening with you guys in groups, and that's fabulous. Couple of situations we talked about. I'm going to read one of them. Caitlin joins a chat room designated for discussions on a particular television show that's currently popular. She doesn't really like this television show very much, so Caitlin begins discussing her favorite television show instead. When the other chat room participants begin flooding the screen with complaints about her being off topic, Caitlin responds with angry words. And this was one of your group's topics. What were some of the things that you said Caitlin should have done differently in this situation? Have you ever been in a chat room that you weren't interested? What's the best thing to do?
Exit out of me.
Exit and go find a chat room you are interested in. Now, how can you be respectful as it applies to text messaging? Because that's another piece of technology. Yes?
Could you share it again?
Text messaging.
Oh, like, there's like I took a picture of somebody, but it was bad. And I see the other people.
Yes.
They're left there sitting on.
Yeah, that's not good. What else?
Like some people may say something negative to you, you gotta ignore it once in a while because it's not good to be sending back negative stuff. Then you start something.
So, I don't think you guys are going to be a part of that because you guys have been awesome in talking about it. So thank you guys so much.